Well, hello and welcome back. Today we have two scents that I call light blue. They're not quite like the Dylan Blue or Sauvage, but these are more on the lighter side of blue fragrance and in color. On your left, we have Nautica Voyage. It's an EDT. And it was originally released a while back in 2006. On your right, we have Yves Saint Laurent YSL Y, and it's an EDT. That was released in 2017, and that was the first one in the Y line, where it grew on to an EDP and then a parfum version, which were released a little bit later. Okay, the profile scent of the Nautica Voyage, the first spray, you get a really fresh, ozonic, aromatic. It's a little bit on the sweet side, but not as sweet as the YSL Y. And then it settles into more of an aquatic, fresh, reminds you of a sea breeze with hints of green herbal notes. There's some slight floral, not a lot, but just slight. And then if you let it settle down a little bit more, you'll sense a little bit of the oceanic sea salt. The profile of the YSL Y, I love the initial alcohol blast. As you all know, I love the alcohol perfume when you first spray on a scent or fragrance. And this one has a good, strong alcohol blast. But it settles down into a very sweet aromatic with slight citrus bergamot. Then when it settles down a bit, you'll get a slight powdery, bubblegummy type of vibe with amber and citrus and what's called aldehydic notes or aldehydes. And from Fragrantica, the definition is an abstract, soapy, fatty, fresh smell reminiscent of fresh laundry and frost. That's kind of an interesting description. Abstract and soapy and frost. Anyway, but I kind of agree with that scent note. Now going back on the Nautica Voyage EDT, the original, some of the notes on Fragrantica I don't agree with, like I don't agree with apple, but then it lists green leaves, which I do agree with, and probably a new note that I just learned of from Fragrantica is called mimosa flower. I guess it has something to do with, related to the mimosa drink. Anyway, the mimosa flower is described as a very sweet, powdery floral note with light green woody nuances. And I think that's pretty accurate. Some of the other notes mentioned in Fragrantica are musk. I don't get too much musk. Amber, I get slight amber. And Fragrantica describes it as ambergris, and then lists cedar, but I don't agree with the cedar. Not too much wood, even though some of the marketing describes it as a aquatic, woody type of scent. Maybe some other people might pick up the wood, but I don't. It's a fresh aromatic, reminiscent of the sea. What I get on the notes for the YSL Y, in Fragrantica, it lists a lot of notes. For example, aldehydes, bergamot, ginger, mint, lemon, apple, pineapple. I sort of agree with that. Some of the ingredients or notes I don't agree with are musk, vetiver, and sage. But you might want to look at Fragrantica and look at all the notes. It's pretty complex amount of notes in there, a lot. And then going to the performance parameter, of Nautica Voyage EDT, I rate that as a fair to good projection. It's not a monster for sure, but with normal spraying, people will notice, but they won't notice from far away. They'll have to come in a little bit closer to you, like handshake distance and closer. It's got good sillage. It'll leave a good trail. And then it settles on the skin after about 10 minutes in after spraying, and I would say it lasts 4 to 5 hours. The performance on the YSL Y is a little bit better. It's got good projection and a fair amount of sillage. It settles on the skin about 15 minutes in, and I would say it lasts 4 to 5 hours. Probably a little bit more if you oversprayed, and it'll project more too. And then going to the masculinity scale between 1 and 10, masculinity of the Nautica Voyage, I give it a 7.5. It leans towards more the masculine side, but not very masculine and not too feminine. On the YSL Y, because of the sweetness and the floral notes, I give it a 6.5, a little less masculine than the Nautica Voyage, but it's still for men. And then price-wise, going back to the Nautica Voyage, since it's been released and it's not a high-end designer fragrance, you could get it at a good discounted price. So shop around and you'll pick it up pretty much at a good price. It may even be available at your rack stores like Ross and Cole and places like that. For the price on the YSL Y, you're going to pay a designer price, mid-designer price, but since it's the first out release of the Y line and it was released in 2017, you may find a discount if you get a discounter site that offers a discount percentage, and you might be able to pick it up at a pretty good price. Okay, overall, I would say the Nautica Voyage is a solid scent at a reasonable price. I think it's on the level of Azzaro Chrome. It's a good starter scent for a beginner collection, and it's not too high designer level, but it gets the job done. You'll smell good with it. And overall for the YSL Y, you get a sweet, complex aromatic, which I think holds the basic DNA of the Y line. And as you go down the Y line, like the EDP and the Parfum, you'll be able to get some of the YSL Y DNA. You'll be able to sense it. But I think the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum is a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more complex. And they're really good scents. Actually, my big preference is the YSL Eau de Parfum, and I like that a lot. And if you prefer a lighter version of the Y line, go with the YSL Y that we have here. And then I would say it's a youthful scent, and it's kind of fun. So have fun with it. And that's all I have for you today. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'd greatly appreciate it. And comment. And we'll talk to you later.